Just testing, test one. Let me make sure you guys can hear me. Hello? Yes, we are on. We are on. Hi, welcome, 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 welcome. I'm so excited to be here with you. So, if you are new to bra sewing, okay, and you've been making all these beautiful cuffs with all those beautiful round hems, round seams, but you can't seem to get it flat enough because you don't have the proper tools for pressing. And when you go to iron it, you end up creating a crease somewhere else. Well, today we're going to solve that problem, okay? With the use of what is called a tailor's ham. Okay. Yes. So this specific one is round. It's the half ball, right? And it's used for many things. It's used for curve items, right? So things where we have those curved seams, like our shoulder seams, necklines, and things like this. But this one works especially well with bra making because it allows us to put those cups after we make those beautiful stitches right on here and press it with the iron, right? So that's what this is all about. Sometimes this is called the bust press, seam press, bust seam press, or bust ham. But it's a tailor's ham, and this is just the round variety. Okay. Perfect for upcyclers, people who have scraps hanging around the house and want to make something useful out of them. And yes, so this is that. Let's get into it. Let's just jump right in. Once again, I'm Dion, and welcome to Sew Jeaux Live. Yes, live from my studio. Yes, live from my studio where we talk about business, sewing, and mo. Okay, while sipping on a strong cup of Joe. And I spell it Jeaux because it's an ode to my mama. And yes, it's celebrating my roots as a Louisiana Creole. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new here, thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much. Grab a seat or grab your supplies. We're going to go over that really soon so you can sew along with me if you so choose. If you are a returning subscriber, hey girl, hey, love you. Thank you for tuning in again. I so appreciate it. And of course, if you at any time you decide that was worth your watch, give your girl a like. Okay, show me some love, and so that the algorithm, gives me a little bit of a push. Okay, and if you're not subscribed, I would invite you to do that as well. Would love, love, love to have you. So, if you're here and tuning in the comments, let me know where you're tuning in from. I would love to know it, and also tell me what you're sipping. I'm sipping on Faithful. Okay, this is Nespresso Intenso with a dash of heavy cream. And oh, she's beautiful. Look at that color. Gorgeous. I'm going to sip her right now. Okay. Mm. Child, that is so good. I love me some coffee, honey. Let me tell you. First, we have coffee and then we do things. So let me take another sip. I'm so glad to be here with you today. I'm going to sit her back here because you guys already know. Okay. You already know. Your girl is clumsy. Okay. Now I got to just remember to reach back there and take another sip. All right. So let's begin. Let's jump right into this tutorial. What I want to do is show you first all of the supplies that you need, so that you can run and get that and sew along with me. Okay. And then let me know in the chat how things are going as you are sewing with me. I hope that you do take me up on that offer. Okay. So let's take a look at all of the supplies. Let's do this. Okay. All right. So there's my Old Faithful right there. Okay. So the things that you will need are a couple pieces of paper to trace out or draw out your pattern pieces. Okay. So we will be doing that. You'll need your fabric scissors. You'll need paper scissors. And I always have these handy because I love to use that to snip threads, but you don't have to have that. You need a protractor or some way that you can make a perfect circle. Okay. You need a pencil. You need your ruler and a curve. Of course, your pins. Okay. And then the fabric that I've chosen to work with is cotton. And the reason I've chosen cotton, just your woven cotton, because it can take really high temperatures. And you really want to choose a fabric that can take high temperatures like this. Okay. So you need, let's just say, let's see, 5. So you need 5 squares that are about 6 by 6 inches to get the pieces that we're going to work on today. As you can see, I've pre-cut mine in the interest of time and because this other layer here is a bit messy when you're cutting it. Okay, and so this one has a nice little pile on it. You can see that, right? So I love that. So that takes a lot of heat. Okay. So, and then the other thing that you will need is whatever you're going to stuff it with. Okay. So that could be old scraps of fabric, cat litter, saw particles, small ball bearings, um, many things, beans, rice, whatever your choice of material is, make use of it. Okay. If you have something that's just hanging around the house that you have no good use for, this is a excuse me, this is a perfect project for that. Okay. So I'm going to clear off my table so that we can get started, get rid of all of these things because I have very limited space to work with. I want to make sure everything is in camera. All right, so I'm just going to throw some things off to the side here so that I have room to work. And it's already a mess, okay? It's already a mess. Just want to clear this off before bring it back. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Okay. D-Dub says, hey, glad to have you, D-Dub. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Your dreams where you take it out. All right. So, okay. So we're going to start with the pattern pieces. All right. So I'll bring you back here. All right. So for your pattern pieces, you need just two pieces of paper. Even just paper from your printer is totally fine. We're going to draw two pieces. Okay. So, and you're going to also need your ruler and your curve for this and your pencil. All right. So the first piece that we're going to make is the pieces that make up the circle, the side walls and the top here. Okay. So what we're going to do is draw a line on your paper that measures about 4 inches. Okay. Right. So horizontal line about 4 inches. And then in the center of that, let me mark my center point. At the 2-inch mark, I'm going to mark. And then I'm going to draw a line up from there that is about 4.5 inches tall. Okay. Making sure to square it here at the bottom. Make sure that I'm good and centered. Right. Making sure to square it on the line here. Okay. So I'm going to draw that to be about 4.5 inches. Like so. All right. And then we're going to simply connect the lines to draw a triangle. Okay. All right. And I was a little bit off there. Let's make this a little bit cleaner. Okay. And I'm going to do the same on this side. Okay. So now you should have a triangle. Now, in order for it to have that ball, a rounded top like this, right? In order for it to be a rounded top, what we have to do is round out each of the sides. Okay. And we're going to do that by using the curve. And I've gone ahead and actually I've marked on here on mine where I want to start and end the curve. And you might want to do this yourself as well so that both sides end up being equal, or you could draw it on the half. Okay. Meaning that make this on the fold or something. Okay. But I'm going to do it this way. Okay. And I'm taking care because I have my mark here. I'm just taking care to make it nice and even on both sides. Okay, very cool. And then now I'm going to do the same down here. I'm going to curve it out down here as well. Okay, very cool. So we've got our first piece drafted. Now we're going to work on Let me put my face on here so you can see me as I'm chatting. All right, so now we're going to draft the piece for the bottom. Okay, so that flat rounded side there. All right. So what you're going to do first is, and I've taken to because my paper is small and I want to make sure that I don't run out of space as I'm making this circle. So I've identified the center of my piece of paper. You don't have to do that if your piece is large enough. Okay. So now I'm going to draw a line that is 2.5 inches from that dot. Okay. And I'm going to use the side here just to make sure it's nice and even going down the side here. Right. Helps me keep my line straight. All right, so from here to here is 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to draw a line 2.5 inches there like that. Okay, so just like that, connecting it. All right, so now what you're going to do is take a protractor, okay, and we're going to use it to draw a circle that is a radius of 2.5 inches. Okay, and I've already um, dialed it in here. So this is the point. I'm going to line the point up with that and then draw my circle. Okay, very good. All right, so circle is now complete. Just that simple. Okay, so now we have our pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those out. Okay, now just as a reminder, in cutting these out, again, I'm using my paper scissors, not my fabric shears. Okay, cut this out. Be a nice, beautiful circle. Now, what I'm going to tell you is that these pieces do not have seam allowances. Okay, so when you're cutting out your fabric, you're going to cut out a seam allowance. Whichever is most comfortable to you. I'm going to use about a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance so that it's not too much fabric being used. So 3/8 of an inch is what I'm going to use. Now I'm going to cut out my little triangle piece here. Okay. Okay, just like that. So when you're cutting out your fabric, you're going to cut an even seam allowance around the perimeter. Okay. And as I mentioned, in the interest of time, what I've done is I've gone ahead and cut it out because one of my fabric choices is a bit messy. Okay. So, and you can see here that it is rubbing off, right? Okay. So what I want to do, so I have two layers that we're going to make for this, right? So we're going to have an inside layer, which is what this is about. So this is a thin, like a broadcloth fabric, and then my outer layer has a little bit more plushness to it. Okay, yours doesn't have to. This is just what I had. So, but what I will say is just to make sure that you're using fabrics that can withstand a lot of heat, and that would be most often your cotton fabrics. That way you're not restricted in terms of dialing up the heat if you need to do that. Okay, in the process of pressing something. Now, for bra making, it's very unlikely that you will be pressing at the highest temperature because your fabrics will be, you know, blends, nylons, things like that. So you don't want to, and things that have lycra and things like that. So those fabrics, those things will melt at high temperatures. So you want to make sure that you are, keeping with the temperature that the fabric can withstand. But in the event you need to use it for something that's cotton, I would say use a fabric that can withstand that temperature. Okay. Now, so let me just show you here. So what you're going to do is we're going to cut 4 of your inner layer. Okay. So you can see this 4 of the inner layer. So I've cut out 4 of those and 1 of the circle for the inner layer. All right. You're going to do the same thing for your outer layer. Okay. So I've got one of those, and 4. It's so messy. And 4 of these. Okay. All right. So once you have that all cut out, you're ready to start sewing. So what you want to do is set your machine to a straight stitch. I'm going to just put these away just so that I can work. I can't stand it to be crazy. All right. Just wipe this off a little bit. How is everybody doing? It is already Thursday. I cannot even believe how quickly this week has gone by. Did I tell you that you needed a hand needle? You also need that. I don't think I told you that. Okay. So put this off to the side as well. All right. So now what we're going to do, the first thing, okay, we're going to separate these into 2. All right. So right sides together. And of course, these don't have a right and a wrong side. And I'm going to do that for this too. Now, this one has a little bit more of a plush side, and I've already got it right sides together. Okay. All right. So right sides together, what we're going to do is stitch down one side of the triangle. Okay. On all 4 pieces. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Switch to let's see what I'm doing here. So guys, what are your plans for the day? I have class a little bit later with one of my favorite students. Okay, so I'm going to continue to make these. Once again, we're doing 3/8 of an inch, but you choose your own seam allowance. Okay. This one. There you go. And guys, if there are more topics that you would like for me to do, I'm very happy to do that. Let's continue that conversation in the comments. Also, of course, if you're catching this on the replay, you can still comment. I will definitely respond. So I would love to hear your thoughts, your suggestions on topics that you would like for me to do a show on. I'm happy to do that. I'm super excited to do this and share with you guys. So just let me know. It's a good chance I will make a video for you. All right. So let's take a look at where we are here. So I'm going to snip these guys. Whatever I did with my little snippers, I don't know what I did with them. I just pushed everything in here. Here we go. All right. So let's cut these apart. And I, of course, picked the dullest scissors here. All right. All right. And now the next thing that we're going to do is so that our curves are nice and flat, we're going to clip the curve here, okay, on all of the pieces. Now, I forgot to turn on my iron, but I think So you do need your iron, okay, because to press the seams open, unless you have a fabric that you can get away with finger pressing and it really kind of, behaves. Um, it gets really flat. I'm going to finger press here where I can right now. And so I'm going to clip the sides of the outer fabric as well. This is a super easy project that can take you, what, 20 minutes? It's going to take us a little bit longer here because I'm a little bit chatty and um, I'm not, and I'm stopping to chat in the process. You see how messy this fabric is? Oh my goodness. I'm going to make some bath towels out of this. I have a bunch of this left over. I'm going to make some for my guest room. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to, at this point, finger press this open. Okay. That works well for this layer. I may have to use the iron for the other one. I think I do. Let me turn my iron on for this. Okay, I'm gonna have some coffee too. Do you have a favorite cup of coffee that you or brand that you like? Let me know in chat what your favorite brand is. Um, I've really grown to love Nespresso. At first, I didn't love the foam head that it puts on. It looks like a beer, but it's actually kind of nice, you know? Okay, so that's heating up. All right. So I'll continue to finger press this because I think this is okay to finger press. But if your fabric doesn't stay flat, then you will want to iron that open. Okay. But that seems to work okay here. And once again, this is the inside. So this will be kind of your lining layer. Okay. All right. Is anybody taking an exciting vacation? I'm so jealous. My sister is in Jamaica. I'm so jealous. And every day she sends back these beautiful pictures. Okay. So now what I'm going to do now that I've finger pressed these seams open, I'm going to pin them so that the seam allowances are aligned. Now, if you need some reference for the pattern piece, this is this is the orientation. Okay. Right. So we're going to pin these together like so. Just make sure. Okay. All right. And then we're going to stitch along this edge here. See how that's looking actually like a cup piece? This looks like a lower cup, to be quite honest with you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to press this with the iron because this won't just lay down. Okay. Let me grab my pressing mat. Okay. Let's move that out of the way really quickly. All right. So we're going to iron these two pieces. Press them open. Now, if you have the availability to use steam, go ahead and do that. I don't use steam in this scenario with this wool pad. Um, Wool and steam don't go well together. You'll get shrinkage. Hence, that's another reason why I wouldn't put wool on the outside of tailor's ham, um, because you may experience that. Some shrinkage and deformation. Okay. All right, so that's good. Done. This is getting everywhere. All right, so now what we're going to do is right sides together once again. Okay, can you see that? Right sides together. It's a little tough to see because, there we go, you can see a little bit better now. Okay, so I'm going to align those seams. Okay. All right, and once again, we are going to stitch around here. Okay, flat for you so that you can take a look at it. Okay, so my seams are going vertical. I'm going to stitch around the curve here, just and do the same with the inner line. Okay. So let's take care of that. Uh-oh, I think I So this fabric is so thick, it really can take like a longer stitch, like a 3 millimeter, or even maybe a 3.5. It's so thick. Okay. Of course, I'm running out of thread. Bobbin. How are we doing up here? We're doing good up there. We just need to load another bobbin in here. Okay. Okay, just making sure that my seam allowance is flat all the way through. Okay. All right, so we are done with that for now. I'm gonna have to find another bobbin really quickly. Where am I? Okay. Okay, so now we're going to clip the curves here as well. Here goes my scissors. That's what I want. Okay, so now we're going to clip around this curve. And this is just so that our curves flip out nice and smooth. Is anybody watching anything good on TV? Okay, this is going by very, very quickly. And these pressing tools are awesome, even if you don't sew, right? And, it just helps with pressing, armholes and all that sort of thing. All right, so now that we have done that, okay, what we're going to do is flip it so that it's right side out. Okay. So cam decided it wants to do something else. Okay. So now we flipped it right side out. We're going to take our round piece and right sides together, okay? And we're going to stitch it all around the perimeter, right sides together, okay? Leaving a gap open so that we can fill it, okay? So I'm just going to stitch around and I'm going to stop in enough, giving it enough room to once again. All right, so let's see here. I think I pulled that too far. Okay. All right. So before I get started, let me go ahead and wind another bobbin. Definitely need to do that. Okay, perfect. Everything is all right. So I'm going to wind another bobbin. I should have thought about this ahead of time. And I obviously didn't. Should have had extra. So let's go ahead and do this really quickly. And this project, I just really enjoy making things that are useful. And I've got a lot of things that I can actually do that with. Lots of materials. Okay, so I'm winding a bobbin, which I should have done prior to starting. And for some reason, my stitch cam has decided to go to sleep on me, and I'm going to have to figure out what's going on with that after today's show. Okay. Okay, so we are all set with a new bobbin. That took seconds, which is really good. All right, so now we're going to stitch, okay? So once again, it's right sides together, right? And we're going to stitch the circle all around, leaving a gap open so that you can stuff it. And my thread, even though Stitch Cam doesn't want to behave today, I chose a thread that you can see what I'm doing. So it's contrasting. You can see exactly what I'm doing here. And I'm just matching the edges. Okay. All the way around here. Large enough. Okay, let's do this. Okay. It's a little bit warm in here too. These lights are they get pretty warm. Okay. All right. So now you can see here that I've simply stitched the circle around, leaving a gap open here. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to clip again around the perimeter of that. Move the machine out of the way. Clipping around just to make sure it's nice and rounded when we flip it right side out. Now I'm not going to clip around the open section there. Okay. Yeah, we're doing good. Okay, so it looks like we're good here. All right, so I've made clips all the way around here. You can see. All right, so now I'm going to turn it right side out at the opening here. Now it's time to get your stuffing. Okay, so I almost got in trouble this morning when I was getting my stuffing. Okay, so when you're stuffing this, you could use a variety of things. And I think I mentioned this at the top of the live. Basically, you could use fabric, just scraps, but make sure when you do, cut them into small pieces, kind of like shredding them in a way, and then stuff them inside. And you could use um, cat litter, you could use little ball bearings, you could use so many things, so many things. Beans, rice, that sort of thing. Okay. Now, if you decide to use beans or rice, you want to make sure that you limit the amount of steam. You don't want to cook it. You don't want to cook the beans or the rice. Now, that's how I got into trouble because I went into the kitchen and stole rice. And I started this live when my husband was on a call. So he might not see this. But okay, so let me just show you what I'm going to do because I'm going to stuff mine with rice. And once again, this is not it's one of those situations like how your parent says, don't do as I do, do as I say. Okay, this is one of those moments. You can stuff it with whatever you want to stuff it with. I'm going to do it with rice today. My rice here. And let's do this. Okay, so here's my rice. I'm going to put it in. I got a little funnel also today just to help me so I don't make a mess. I can be a little bit clumsy. I say that all the time, but it's so true. All right, so what I'm going to do is put my little funnel in here and hopefully I don't make a mess. Hold this in place. See if I can pour this rice in here. I'm making a mess. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this because I don't have 4 hands. Okay, so I'm gonna scoop some of this out. Okay, much better. He looked at me this morning. He said, too much is going on. Too much is going on. He saw the rice sitting on the counter. Oh my goodness. I hope I have enough of it here. And I'm going to stuff it as full as I can get it, okay? Almost there. Okay. Almost there. Okay. Okay, I think we're there now. Awesome. Okay, very good. Okay, so it's nice and full. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, and I think I'm getting rice in my hair and everything, okay? And I'm going to stick this back here. And this back here. And I'm just going to stick this here for a second and try to clean my desk off so that I don't have rice everywhere. Okay, I think we're Cleaned it off now. All right. So now that we have filled up our the inner of the this is the inner lining. Okay. So now what you want to do is grab your needle and throw in there some whip stitches to close off that little area. Okay, so I'm tying a knot at one end. I'm actually using it so that there is just one thread that will be running through, and I have the other side of the thread running free. Okay, so we're going to do this. All right. All right, so we're just going to whip stitch this with some tight stitches so that rice doesn't come through there. Mhm. And when I threaded this, I, threaded it so that it's about, I don't know, maybe about a yard of thread hanging there. But when doubled over, it's more like about, 15 to 18 inches long. So it's not too long, um, because when you thread a needle too long, of course, it has more potential to knot up on you and frustrate you. So I'm just doing a simple whip stitch to close up this area. And once again, it's not going to be seam. This is going to be on the inside. So this is going to be on the inside. So it's not going to matter that it's seam. We just want to make sure it's nice and closed. We're almost there. Okay. We are almost there. Mhm. So amazing how something that's just laying around can all of a sudden regain some value, like this right here, right? I need to find more projects like this. And to be quite honest with you, I can make kitchen, I need some kitchen towels and all sorts of things. And yeah, so I think I'm going to kind of like seek out some more projects like that just to get rid of a lot of my just kind of remnant fabric hanging around. Let's make sure this is not going to come off. Okay, we're nearing the end now. This is the home stretch. Let's see. Yeah, please check in with me in the comments and let me know what you think about this project. Is this something that you can try? So now I'm going to knot it. Okay. Just going to make so instead of like pulling the loop all the way down, I'm just going to pass the needle through it and then do a second time. Okay. And then slowly pull it so that the knot ends up right at the surface. Do it one more time. So this is the loop that is forming as I pull the needle through. I'm going to put my needle through there, and then that creates another loop. And I'm going to put my needle through there too. Slow, slow, slow. Okay, very good. All right. All righty. So we have the inside of our ham completed. So now we're going to let's just do a quick test of the fit. This is the outer portion. Yes. How nice is that? Look at that. A very quick project. Okay, so now I'm going to stitch this in the same way I stitched the inside, right? So right sides together, right? So I've turned it so, let's see here. I've turned it so the right sides are together. And now I'm going to, I'm sorry, so the right side is out, and now I'm going to do right sides together, attaching the bottom. Okay. And this time I'm going to leave a larger opening because I've got to fit this whole thing into it. Okay. So I'm going to leave a larger opening this time. All right. So let's see here. Make sure we are good. All right. So let's do that. Again, my seam allowance is 3/8 of an inch, but you have the freedom to create your own seam allowance, whatever is most comfortable for you. Um, okay. So I'm stitching this, just kind of bearing in mind that I have to leave a large amount open. Okay. I would say a little more than one panel wide. So one of those triangle panels. So you want it to be, the opening to be maybe the width of the panel plus just a bit more so that you can squeeze the ball in there. And I'm coming up on that right now. So okay. So I'm just going to go a little bit farther. Okay. All right. Such a messy fabric choice. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to do the clips all around where I've stitched so far. Okay. As soon as I can find my scissors. All right. Okay, and I'm not going to clip around the edges that are unsewn. Okay, so where I've left out for the hole. I'm not going to clip that part. Okay, coming up on the end of that. All right. Yeah, very good. Okay, so now we've made clips. I hope you can see that. You can see that there's some little clips going all the way around here. Okay, now I'm going to flip that right side out. And we're going to stuff this bad boy in here. Hopefully I can get it in. Hopefully I left enough room. Just to make sure you're going in there the proper direction. There we go. Okay, it's all in. All in. Okay, so now we're simply going to stitch this portion closed. And I'm going to pin along this time because I just want it to be a nice clean finish. So I'm going to pin along the edges, folding in at the seam allowance. So just for a nice tight finish. Okay. All right, so I think we are good here. Let me just tuck that in. And once again, I'm going to use my hand needle to finish off these edges. We are done with the sewing machine at this point. All right, so let's do this stitch here. Right, take that out just so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. This time I'm going to do more of a clean finish here. And hiding my stitches. So I'm hiding the stitches inside the fold of the seam allowance. And interestingly enough, if I did the whip stitch here, it would be totally fine because the pile on this fabric is so plush that it hides the stitches. Taking this off. Okay. All right, so here we are, continuing on. So I'm making a stitch in the fold and then doing the same on the other side so that when you pull it together, it brings the folds together nice and clean. Okay. Pull that out. By the way, I love I have like the magnetic pin cushions. I love them because I could just throw the pin at it and it just catches it. Oh, it's the little things. Oh my goodness. Okay. Once again, guys, please hit the like button if you found this video helpful. And plus, it helps me to be seen. I'm so new to this. And I just want to uh, make sure that I invite you, do all the YouTube things. Make sure I invite you to join the channel, to subscribe. I would love to have you and to help you on your journey of bra making if that's something that you're interested in doing. But also, we talk about business. So we talk about, selling your makes and things like that. And basically how to monetize these things that you make, whether it's custom or it's something that you're planning on having mass produced. I'm I would love 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 to be a part of that. We are heading in the home stretch here, guys. We're almost done with this stitch here. You can barely tell where that stitch is. All right, so let me go ahead and knot this. Okay. All right, so let's knot it. All right, so once again, to knot it, once you pull and let me just do this. I have one free here. Yeah, let's do that first. Okay, and now when you pass it through for a stitch, only this time when the loop is formed, you're going to pass your needle through it and then pass your needle through the loop that is formed by doing that as well. Okay. And then slowly pull. Don't pull it too fast because then you'll end up with free threads or not that's not so closely tied to the project. Slowly. Okay, very good. All right. And let's just cut off this little extra piece here too. Guys, we did it. We did it. This is my original. And now this is the one we just created right here. And when you press it, you can actually, pass the iron over it. And it'll flatten it out a little bit. As you use it, it'll flatten out, take on kind of a different shape. The fabrics and things will flatten out. Okay. Let's take a look at it. We are done. That's the one we did today. This was yesterday's. Very cool, right? Very, very cool. All done. So, guys, I hope this helped today. I hope that you find this a meaningful, useful project. Again, if there are things that you would like to see me do on the channel, I'm happy to oblige. Just let me know in the chat and in the comments, and I would love to hear from you. Also, if you are watching the replay, I would love to chat with you and continue the conversation in the comments as well. All right, that is it for me, guys. I'm wishing you a wonderful day. And of course, remember to create something beautiful. I'm out. Peace.